In this new series, we work together with Verta Collective and other industry experts to answer your commonly asked questions. Hey, what's up everyone? So we are glad to have Pantheon Percussion with us to kick off this entire new series. The first 6 episodes will be featuring George from Pantheon Percussion. Pantheon Percussion is a leading custom drum maker and cymbal maker in Singapore. And I think this is their 10 years, right? 10 years. Yeah, so let's welcome George! Yay! And also, before I forget, remember to check out their Facebook and Instagram and the link below. So, George, so can we talk a little bit about Pantheon Percussion first? So you guys have been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
Since what, 2010? 2010, right?
2010 till now.
So what else besides custom drums and custom cymbals do you guys do?
Actually, a big part of the business is repairs. You know, things like drum repairs, cymbal repairs, refurbishing, restoration of some of the more vintage drums. And other than the making custom products, we also have like more standard products for people that, you know, don't need the
right. Don't need the customization lah.
Yeah.
Right.
So standard products which we can bring the price down a bit lah.
Right. Yeah, I saw on your Facebook, Instagram, you did quite a number of cymbal repairs also, right?
Yeah.
I think that one is pretty interesting.
A lot. Yeah.
I think previously on the Facebook, I think I saw your interview with Aeonix Productions.
Yep.
So I think that one, you all talk quite a lot about the history. It's pretty interesting. So if you guys are interested to find out more about Pantheon's history and how they came about, so you can check out this video that we're going to link below. Right? So today in the first episode, what we're going to talk about is drum tones. So I think drum tones, especially for my students actually, a lot of them have problems understanding drum tones because I think it's a little bit difficult for them to grasp how to use words to describe sounds. I think because everybody use different terms, right? Like warm, fat, right? So what we did was we asked a few of our drummer friends, professional drummers. So, and we gave them a little challenge, like predict what kind of sound it will have, and then we gave them, played a little test with them. So come, let's have a look at that video. Hello everybody, I'm Fireweed. No, just kidding. This one is the real Fireweed.
Hello.
So now we will begin the test, okay? So I will show you a few pictures and images. Then you're gonna tell me what do you think of the sound. So you can use any terms that you want.
Can.
Okay, to describe.
First one obviously is the Chris Adler snare. That one I know you got a huge history with.
Thanks.
Yeah, this one I know it's 13 by 5, I want to say. So it will be, and cause I know Lamb of God stuff, so like it's probably very high pitched and actually quite sweet sounding to me.
Sweet sounding, cool, okay.
Okay, next one. This one, if I'm not wrong, is my friend Dion's snare drum. It's 14 by 8. I want to say bronze. Yeah, I think it's bronze. Yeah, so this one will be very loud, definitely. Very crispy. And it has the potential to be very deep, like a big fat boy. Right?
Loud, crispy and deep, alright. Okay, next.
Pork pie, this one I think I see before, but yeah, it has the beat in the middle. So this one will also be very loud and very shrill, I would think. But can be very controlled, I think. Yeah, but I will probably choose this size over the bigger Pantheon one.
Loud, shrill and control. Cost one.
Easier to control.
Oh, so is it you prefer pork pie than Pantheon?
No, I prefer the size.
Just kidding.
Fei Wen.
Yeah, cut away.
Okay, next one, the Pearl Vinnie Paul. This one, what material? I don't know, sir. But yeah.
Snake skin.
Snake skin,
No lah.
Oh, you don't play for White Snake or what? Okay, this one, I think this one will be very powerful. Like if you put through the PA, like it will like slap you in the face, that kind.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean also suits the band that he plays for lah. Yeah, loud in your face.
Powerful and loud. Okay. Next.
Pantheon also. Maple snare. Maple snare means it's like your go-to snare, like sure work one in studio. You can tune it up, tune it down, it will sound correct. It's a very safe choice, and usually people's go-to lah if you don't know what to choose.
So how would you describe a sound of a maple snare like this? Warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be very bright, it can be very deep, but it'll still have that very warm quality to it.
Hi everyone. Hey, but this is like cheat code. I know this snare drum because this is a 12 by 5 Chris Adler signature. I think it's probably the first one. So it's compact, it's powerful, packs a punch, and a great crack. Yep.
Good. Next.
Probably really fat. Looks like a 14 by 8. I think I might not be sure. Maybe I'm wrong. It's maybe 14 by 10. Are you testing me here?
No, the dimension is okay. It's just like the sound. What do you think? Right.
Probably fat and deep. And then look at die cast hook. If it's correct, then very controlled resonance. Yeah.
All right. Next.
Looks like 14 by 8, 7. Triple flange. So fairly open, fat. Might have a fair amount of overtones, I think. Yep.
Cool. Last one.
Why are they all so fat, man? This looks like 14 by, could be anything from 8 to 10. I'm also not sure, but again, fat and deep. But because this one, triple flange, so probably still a fairly open tone. Yeah.
Free.
Free. That's the first I've heard of.
Sorry. I think it's high pitch.
High pitch.
It cuts through the band.
Cuts through.
Okay, and expensive.
High pitch cut through and expensive. She's not very expensive, this one.
Because for you, not expensive.
Fuck. Okay, next.
Ooh, heavy. I mean,
Heavy.
the snare itself is heavy, but the tone-wise, I think it's also very piercing.
Piercing.
Fat,
Fat.
and has a nice pop.
Okay. Piercing, fat, nice pop. Okay, next.
Next. Wow. It sounds crisp
Crisp.
and sensitive.
Crisp and sensitive.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Next one. Walao
Next.
eh. This one another expensive snare. I think it sounds deeper than the rest lah.
Deep.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
wood, right? So I guess a bit more warmth.
Warm. Deep and warm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
last one.
Interesting, but okay. Last one. I would say it sounds safe. Something that you can use for most gigs.
Sounds safe. Okay.
Safe, yeah. It sounds
Okay.
generic, but
Generic.
and
Safe.
I don't know, like easy to fit in with most.
Versatile.
Versatile, yes, the
Versatile.
word. Yes.
Okay. Right. All right.
Done.
Okay.
First one is Vinnie Paul.
So the first one is fat and deep and has overtones. So it's probably one of the big ones, but not the die-cast one. My guess is the pork pie lah.
The bell brass one.
So
The
first
one that look like brass,
The brass, the very thick one.
Yeah.
This one Chris Adler.
Chris Adler snare.
Chris
For
Adler.
number 2. Okay.
Yeah, confirm. No regrets on that one.
I think this is a Chris Adler.
I think this one is the first snare.
First snare is the Chris Adler snare.
Yes.
Okay.
The third one is the Maple Pantheon.
The third one is the snake skin one.
This one is the Pantheon orange one, Dion one.
And third and fourth, either the Vinnie Paul or the Pantheon, the big one. Yeah.
Change answer.
Fourth one is pork pie.
The last one is the Popeye.
Fifth one, Pantheon.
This one is the generic one.
The Pantheon Maple.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but it's quite interesting, like how I think it's the tuning that throws a lot of people off.
yeah.
Correct. And then it's very interesting on how they use those terms. Like there's some weird terms like shrill, but I think the more common one is fat, warm,
Yeah.
bright, or what's that? Pop, pop, right?
Pop.
The pop. Yeah, there's a. So what exactly affects all this sound? How do you define a warm?
Yeah, I mean, so I think there are a few things. First, when you look at a drum, you look at pitch. What pitch are you at? So we can explore what controls pitch later on. Then you notice some of the drums were fairly deep.
Right.
You know, and normally when you talk about deep snares or shallow snares, what you're looking at is articulation. That means like how
Right.
sensitive it is. You know.
I see.
You get what I mean? So the depth will affect the sensitivity. The deeper it is, the less articulate it's going to be.
I think also that's one of the reasons why a lot of people use the many strands.
Yeah,
For the snare
that's why
wires.
you have to compensate for
Right.
the extra
To
depth.
have more sensitivity out of that.
The thickness of the shell is going to determine the timbre. That means the quality of the sound that comes out from the shell.
Right.
Because when you hit the skin, right, it has a sound, but the shell also produces its own sound as well. So what material goes into the shell will give you that.
Give you that natural. So just now when we were looking at the reaction video or the test from the drummers, I think most of them when they see maple, right, and then they automatically assume it to be warm, a warm sound, a generic sound, or safe sound.
So because maple, unfortunately, is associated with middle of the road. You get what I mean? It's a bit bright. It's got the warmth, which means it has the lows and the mids. So it sits nicely in the frequency range lah. You know, so it's all purpose. That's why you know people tend to use that size.
Right.
You know, similarly, if you had a 22-inch bass drum and then you want to crank it out to be a piccolo snare, asking for trouble, right? So, so the diameter is the main determiner of pitch.
Of the pitch lah.
Yeah.
Right. So diameter covers the pitch, and then the depth covers the sensitivity.
The articulation.
The articulation of the drums. So let's say for example, if I'm choosing a drum or I'm going for a specific tone, like what does the
I think it really depends on the kind of sound that you're going for. So we always begin with what kind of sound you want. So we ask people to use adjectives to describe.
Right, like what we did earlier.
Yeah, what kind of sound are you looking for? Then you can narrow down to the shell material that would best fit that sound profile lah.
Right.
You know, so you choose the correct drum type. You know, then people will look for like, hey, I want to play this kind of music, but I want it to be, I'm going to play funk, so I want something very bright and cutting. And then you should choose that pop, right? So you should choose a snare that really can create that sound easily.
Right.
You know, maybe you could pick a drum that is not suitable for this sound. It's okay, it will do the job, but it might struggle to.
Right.
You might have to do more work to get
that sound that you want.
Get
lah.
it more natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we proved that point just now in the video. Like I think because a lot of people when they look at a certain drum, they have a certain sense of okay, this drum is gonna sound like that.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
Yeah, right. It's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype.
Yeah, so like a lot of people they look at the maple. Oh, it's gonna sound like a maple 14x5 or 5 sound.
Yeah.
But this one is a curveball, right? Because this is a 15 ply.
Yeah. So it may, when people look at maple, they kind of think it might sound a bit warm and a bit soft. But because the shell for this snare is so thick, right? It's 15 ply, so it actually transforms into something else. It doesn't lose so much energy in resonance. Instead, it just like projects the sound out. That's why it becomes like super loud.
Right. Yeah, that's why a lot of people were thrown off by that from the earlier ones. So how would you describe maple sound versus a birch or walnut?
Yeah. So we again we take maple as the measurement for everything, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
because it's Mr.
It's like the
middle of the road, you know.
Yeah.
So if you crank it up high, you can really have a bright cut as well. So maple is the middle, and in comparison to that, if you wanted something brighter with more attack, you would choose something with like birch,
right.
which is people would say sounds more like the modern kind of drum sound.
Okay.
You get what I mean? It has bright attack, short sustain, so
okay.
the profile is scooped.
Right. How about
Just
the
the extra
the more expensive one, like the mahogany lah?
mahogany and woods like walnut, all these are on the darker spectrum.
Right.
So typically you will see a jazz player might be more interested in those sounds because they want dark and melodic
I
kind
see.
of
I see.
tone. You know, you want it when you play the drum, it sounds kind of luxurious. Then that a jazz drummer might appreciate that kind of tone more.
Right. Now we covered quite a number of different kind of wood, right? So when would a drummer choose wood or metal snares?
Okay, so you need to look at dynamics, the kind of dynamic level that you're going to be playing at. If you're going to be playing in a very small kind of place, you would probably choose a wooden shell drum with a thinner shell. Then it will sound sweeter in a smaller room.
Right.
If you played on a live outdoor stage, you probably need something that is really gonna cut through everything, cut through the
more
mix.
powerful.
It's probably gonna be a very loud band.
Right.
So you would probably choose a metal snare.
I see. So that's one of the factors, like the venue that you're playing in. I think some people also associate the different kind of snares with genres. So like for example, jam, progressive metal stuffs. A lot of them like to go for 6.5 brass.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you see this? Like a 6.5 brass. Can I use a wood snare or maybe a V-Import snare to achieve a
you
similar kind of
can,
sound?
but the reality is, wooden snare would really struggle to keep up with the dynamic level of metal.
Right.
You get me now? So in order for a wooden shell to sound like a metal snare, same kind of volume, it's got to be a really thick wooden shell.
To be
In
able to
order
deliver
for it
that
to
punch.
come close to metal.
I see. Okay.
In terms of dynamic level.
Right. So let's say for example, okay, I got my drums. So there are a few things which also determines the sound of the drum. So I think just now during one of the videos, Alfie is pretty interesting because when I was looking at the video, Alfie was the only guy who mentioned about the hoops. Right. So I think those are I think there's quite a number of hoops out there, right? Like single, double, triple flange.
Yeah.
So how does it affect?
So the hoops, right? Generally, when you order hoops or you choose hoops, they are in terms of your order in terms of thickness. So we begin with 1.6 mm, so it's very flexible. So what happens is every time you hit it, it's so soft that it will bend. So every time it bends, it allows the tension rod, this tuning rod, right? The tension rod, it gives it a little bit of space to hop out and get loose. That's why it detunes very easily.
I see.
Because it's soft.
Okay.
Okay, so a good, now the so-called professional standard for hoops is 2.3 mm.
2.3 mm. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of like the starting point for good snare drums.
Right.
Yeah, and then you go to maybe like a DW snare would be 3 mm. And then die-cast hoops will also be 3 mm thick, but the construction is totally different.
So what's the difference between a die-cast and a flange?
Okay, so the word flange actually means like a kind of a curve. So when it says triple flange, it means there's like 3 curves.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the shape of the hoop. Yeah. So this is what we mean by triple flange, because in the old days, in the vintage drums, they would have double flange. They would have single flange.
Right.
That means a single flange is basically
is like that?
A ring lah.
The titit like that?
Yeah, correct. Then there will be double flange, will be single and straight, and then a curve.
Right.
In those days, they call it the stick chopper.
Okay.
Yeah, those vintage type. Then now the modern equivalent is it flanges outside or flanges inward, right? So that will be triple flange.
Right. But that's more for usability. Or does it affect
it's
the tone
supposed
in a way?
to chop the sticks less.
Right.
Yeah, it's to save you, because if imagine the hoop was vertical, right? When your stick goes on it, chops the sticks.
Right.
You get me? So when this was, I believe, designed to save the sticks.
Usability factor lah.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of tone, does it affect anything? Like for example, flanged, die-cast?
Okay, so the main difference is the lighter the hoop, the more the hoop itself will ring. So it allows the drum to be more resonant.
So that's how you get the
it
open
allows it
sound
to have a more open sound, exactly. So the thicker the hoop is more durable, but you trade off in terms of dryness. So 1.6 mm, 2.3 mm, 3 mm, die cast 3 mm. Then there are some even thicker varieties. The thinner ones are more open sounding. The thicker, heavier ones will really dampen, but they are a lot more durable. They hold their tuning very well. So you can like karate
What
chop.
about S hoop?
S hoop is basically a 2.3 mm hoop.
Okay.
But instead of flanging
It has this special
outside,
design, right?
Instead of flanging outside, it
goes
flanges inside.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that?
When it curves like this, it kind of gives you extra volume.
Oh, okay.
When you hit, it feels like it's more chunky.
More 搞 like that.
It's thicker because there's a bend there.
Okay, besides hoops, right? So I think one of the things that a lot of people is asking is also how does the amount of tension rods affect?
Yeah. So in the older days, right, a lot of the Gretsch drums would have 6 lugs on the snare drum.
Right.
Okay, so you will have a very open and resonant kind of sound. And the tuning range might be a bit weird because the interval, the space in between is quite wide.
Yeah.
So you can have kind of high pitch, then in the middle,
then
kind of like low drop in pitch. So the lesser the number of tension rods, the more open it's going to sound, but you're also going to get more inconsistencies in tuning. So when you want precision in tuning, you have the more the merrier. So now we even have people who do 12 lux snare drums.
Right.
The ultimate in precision tuning.
Okay, so it's got to do with the precision lah. I would also say it's ease of tuning.
Yeah, ease of tuning.
Right?
Yeah.
So
consistency in tuning.
Right.
The lesser tension rods there are, you might find that the drums sound like they have a bit more character.
Okay.
A bit like unpredictability, you know. And then the 10 lug snares are really like machine.
Right.
You know, on the dot every time. One last thing about the number of tension rods. The lesser the number of tension rods, there's inherently less tension in the hoop. So the pitch tends to be lower. Whereas if you put a 10 lux snare drum, right, then the space in between the tension rods is kind of small, so it's always like high tension.
Right.
You get me? It can handle a lot of pressure. So the pitch of the drum tends to go up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it also depends on what kind of range.
Yes.
Right?
What's the tuning range you want?
Right.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think the most important thing is to determine what kind of sound you want first. And then from here, then you can go through the different factors on how to find that sound. I think that's actually the most important thing.
So in summary, this is what we have learned so far. A shallow snare allows for more articulation, a deeper snare lesser. You can counter that by using snare wires with more strands to increase the articulation for deeper snares or vice versa. The material and thickness of the shell affects the timbre of the drum. The diameter determines the pitch of the drum, and the lighter or thinner the rims, the more resonance the drum will have. The lesser tension rods the drums have, the more open the sound will be. However, you will have a much lower tuning range. For wood snare, you can choose a birch material for a brighter attack, or exotic woods like mahogany, bilbinga, or walnut for more complexity. Choosing metal or wood drums is dependent on the power that you want, which is dependent on the genre or the venue that you are playing at.
So those are the things that we have covered today, but I think there are still a lot of things more to learn about the different things that will affect the tones. So what is happening is George is doing free workshops together with Pantheon Percussion for drum community. So if you guys want to know more about the different kind of things, or you got questions, or you want that live experience, please follow the link, and then you can follow him and see when he has his next workshop. It's quite periodically. You have quite a few, right?
Yeah, regularly I will conduct the workshops, and it really is to get this knowledge more commonplace. There's a lot of information on YouTube and all that, right? But what people really need is a little bit of hand holding.
Correct.
And walk through. This one you turn wrongly. This one. So the face to face, one-to-one coaching is much more valuable,
Right. So that's it for this first episode. So in the next episode, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about different kind of drum heads. So remember to follow us, and I don't want to say subscribe, like very lame at that, but Yeah, so remember to follow us and keep checking in every week for the next content. See you.